An electric vehicle is thought to have started a fire on board a cargo ship carrying thousands of cars. One crew member was killed and others injured off the Dutch coast. Officials say the blaze could be burning for days. A salvage team is monitoring this situation. Authorities are concerned about oil or cargo from the vessel polluting the World Heritage Site. And we can now speak on that subject to Nikki Truxel. He's a fire safety expert and managing director at Truxel in Weiblingen, Germany. Now, the Coast Guard says an electric car is a suspected source of the blaze. How can they know, and what could have happened?
I think they expect this from the initial emergency call, which was talking about an electric battery or a battery car that went on fire. And it's very likely because, as you know, there are supposed to be 25 electric cars on the boat. And the difference to like standard petrol cars, electric cars can go on fire when they are just being parked, while petrol cars normally go on fire while the engine is running, while they are driving. And you might remember that a year ago we had a very similar situation with a vessel with 4,000 cars that went on fire and later sunk in front of Portugal.
Now, what exactly happens with these electric cars, with this kind of batteries? How does the fire start? Do we know that?
I think we can't tell right now, but what is probable, I would say, in this case are two things. One thing is like a production failure of the car that can occur at any time. But what's also very likely is that one of the electric cars was hit the ground with the underbody during the loading process, because they are in short time, these loading processes, and such a mechanical damage can lead to a fire within minutes or within hours or even within days. That's very tricky, and you can't really tell from the outside if the battery is fully intact or if it's on the verge of setting fire. So that's very hard to determine from the outside.
Let's talk about fighting fire on a ship. Why is it so difficult to put out this fire?
Yeah, basically, lithium battery fires are hard to put out even on land. And on a ship, the problem is that you can't really use water, because you can't use much water, because it can fill up the ship and lead to swaying of the ship or even lead to a sinking. And on the other hand, the water doesn't have such a good cooling effect, because it can't really reach the inside of the ship. So I would say the only chance you would have in such a scenario is to have a very quick responding automated fire system that works with a chemical extinguishing agent like aerosol, which we recommend to use, because with the water you only have a very poor extinguishing capacity concerning lithium-ion batteries. And even ionization by using CO2 or other gases that deploy or take out the oxygen won't really work, because lithium batteries, they can produce their own oxygen while burning. So it's very tricky to deal with this kind of fires with like the old ways with water or gas. So you need more modern systems, and I think you need automatic systems, because even for real firefighters, it's very hard to fight such fires. And not to mention normal boat crews, they can't really do anything. Yeah, that's the problem.
So you say we need more modern systems and automatic systems, but do we also need to rethink how to deal with electric cars in the future, how to transport them, how to handle them?
Yeah, that might also be a thing, to maybe just separate them from the other cars, or treat them like in a different way, to have also better structural fire protection for the ships, so they can withstand the fire if something occurs. Yes, of course, I think we need to rethink it, because it's a new technique. I think you can handle it, but you can't expect that you can handle it without changing anything. So I think we should be aware, not only for electric cars, but there have also been many fires on ships in containers or on the ships themselves that were caused by lithium-ion batteries, not only in cars, but also in any kind of good that gets transported in large numbers. And that's a risk you have, and you have to deal with it. And there are ways to do it, but you have to do something. Yeah.